Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. See, I forgot to do that too. Okay, let me grab that. Um, hmm, okay, gotta do that again. Give me 1 second, you guys. Get rid of that. Okay, dismiss. And oh, by the way, I didn't know that the State of the Union was on tonight. So I did not want to overlap with that. Otherwise, I was going to come on about an hour ago, but did not want to conflict with that. So, okay, there we go. Slide is in place. Also, LAR, thank you so much for the Cash App that I received before I even started. Thank you very much. That was about 5-10 minutes ago. So thank you for the Cash App and thank you so much. Oh, I see who you are on the. Okay, yeah. Well, thank you very much. This is my second today. Really? Is that right? Okay. Well, thank you very much. All right, I must have done something right, huh? Ingrid Soers, thank you so much for being first. Hello, Judy, Helen, Lydia, Khadijah, Rafaela, ha ha ha, Katie V, and Mary H, and Black Queen, and Lottie, and a host of friends and others. Emerald Derrick is here. Thank you very much. All right, let's get moving then, shall we? Wonder if we can limit this to like an hour. Let's see what we can do. That, and that. Okay, next. Vanity Fair had an article today, which of course I rendered a video based on the article, which you can find. There's a lot of people that watched it already, so I won't play it here. But it was the absolute last thing that I posted, so shouldn't be hard to find. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and grab the link to that, and I'll put the link up on top so that that you'll have it. And oh my goodness, okay, that's interesting. All right, okay, didn't know that was going to happen. All right, so I'm grabbing that link, copy link, throw it over here, and put it up on top, and we're good. Pin message to chat. There we go. Links up on top. Thank you all very much. All right, moving on. So, yes, I am a Mom's First founding member. Meghan Markle is teaming with Gina Davis to change our perception of moms on TV. On Thursday, the Duchess of Sussex and the nonprofit Moms First are announcing the results of a study on television moms with Gina Davis Institute on Gender in Media. So, in other words, the image of women on television, that almost Stepford wife thing, or anyway, they feel as though the TV moms, which could range from every show you could think of, from Good Times to, oh, the Eight is Enough, or anyway, any of those shows, Happy Days, and Roseanne, even the Bundys, all of those shows, there has been images of television moms that are not rooted in the reality of things. And so they did a study about that. Like, for instance, the house is perpetually clean. Well, who cleans the house? They say only about 15% of the time do they ever actually show housework being done. So all of these things are important in how not only boys but girls see themselves in the family unit. So interesting study. And anyway, we'll see some things in the future with our Duchess. I was even listening to someone earlier on Spaces who said that she thought that there might be some upcoming panel, a panel where our Duchess may be speaking. So we're going to see a lot of the Duchess of Sussex this year. I promise you that. We're going to see a lot of her. And that should be very exciting. Yeah, and remember, people who need people are the luckiest people in the world. Chef Sandy Love, Baron, thank you for all your efforts right from the time of the Sussex Squad days. Thank you for being here daily. Yes, that is quite a feat, isn't it? You are our moderators. I'll say, our moderators, thank you. Yes, can't forget the moderators who, as I remind you guys, the moderators are not only here, but the moderators cover most of the channels that you all have watched from day to day. Even if they're not moderators, they are in the comment sections of a lot of those other channels and safe spaces, and occasionally not so safe spaces. So thank you so much for that acknowledgement, Chef Sandy Love, and thank you for 18 months membership to Royal Sussex. Connie Balmer! Hey, Connie Balmer. Thank you so much for being here tonight. All right, very cool. And let's see, moving on. There we go. Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, and Gina Davis. So that was the video that I mentioned. When you see this thumbnail, then you'll know exactly which video that is. You can see somebody's baby mama back there pushing that stroller. But yeah, there's also there's in a lot of Western industrialized countries, the birth rate is collapsing. I don't know if you all have heard this, but as much as everybody is so upset about the people immigrating to the United States, I'm going to tell you what the Republicans and the Democrats don't like to say. They want people here to work. There is a labor shortage in this country. Right now, China, their economy is not the big marvel of the world it used to be. And you know why? Because the birth rate has dropped. I know that sounds redundant, and I'm not going to get into the politics of all of this, but the economies that are going to do very well in the coming years will be the ones with a more than substantial workforce. Even with AI and automation, trust me when I say this, this is very important. So please stop being afraid of this invasion that we're under. Please stop being afraid of that. This is what they're saying to scare you. Even your local media with this migrant crisis. Yes, we do need to find housing and get people working, but please stop being afraid of that. Most of us are not affected from one day to the next. It's the media that is convincing us to be afraid. If our parents could handle it back in the days of Ellis Island, we'll get through this too. I promise you. So I can't tell you guys enough. The news is trying to destroy you. They want you to be afraid. Like an abusive relationship, they keep bringing you back so you can hear some more bad news and more bad news until you're almost nauseated and ready to upchuck. Well, that's enough about Charles. Get it, upchuck? Right. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Recollections may vary. All right, continue. All for one and one for all, so they say. As Harry moans again, is what they were saying at the time. This was before Christmas, right? Remember how they were pushing back against Omit's book? Omit dropped quite a few truth bombs, and they couldn't stand it. And so now, it turns out that a lot of things Omid was right about, but there's a lot of things that you all were right about. One of the things that we here in the Sussex Squad have been saying time and time again is that they are in trouble. The only thing that I will say that surprised me is how fast the bottom fell out of their situation. Meaning, of course, that just losing two key members for illness was enough to make the whole system collapse. William mysteriously takes a week off for some unexplained reason. Of course, Camilla, she has been away from her coffin for too long. You see, sleeping upside down in the closet is not doing it for her. She needs to go, and just like the vampires of old, she needs to go someplace where people won't be missed, right? As an immortal, she needs to go someplace where people won't be missed, where she can drink the blood of peasants late into the night and the wee hours of the morning before the sun come up, and get back to her coffin before anybody notices, right? So when she comes back, you're going to notice that she looks at least a day or two younger. Not by much, but just a day or two younger. But I am convinced that she is some alien reptilian life force that is not of this world, but you didn't hear me say that, okay? I even had to put my tin hat on just so that I could tell you that. But she's not of this world. I don't know where she comes from. I'm sure in some cave somewhere in France, or perhaps in one of those Aztec pyramids, you will find some etching on the wall, and it is going to look just like this, right? Bad Farrah Fawcett hair and all. So we don't know where she comes from, but trust me when I say this, she is not of this earth. So today someone actually noticed some activity at Buckingham Palace. It appears as though some courtiers or whatever, whoever they are, butlers, major domos, whatever you call those people that work in that house, they were fixing a sign on the gates at Buckingham Palace reminding people closed due to staff shortages. Not the palace, the whole institution. Not the palace, the entire institution is pretty much shut down. I think they're going to reopen for Commonwealth Day or Monday Day or whatever it is, but right now they're not functioning at a full capacity. It's a mystery, but they are not functioning at full capacity. I still want to know why William is off from work. Why is William off from work? And why are the media people not talking about that? William is off, meaning, as far as I'm concerned, I'm just saying, I'm going to allege, I think William may be the one that's actually worse off. In some respects, I think he's worse off, because I think whatever is ailing him is not visible. And perhaps there has been no professional intervention, but William is the one that has a serious problem. He is the one that is going to be king. And once again, he's vanished. They said that he was not coming back for a week. And nobody's talking about that. Doesn't that impress you all as being strange? Especially after his weaving and bobbing and something's not going right for them. Blue Draws, thank you so much for the super sticker and for being a member of Royal Sussex. Now, a perpetually slimmed down monarchy would doom the crown to irreverence and death, writes Richard Eden. We need the youthful energy of Edward's children to help turn things around. Well, Edward's children are not available. They're not prince and princess, and Charles do not want them. And I suspect William is not going to tolerate them. And what about Edward and Sophie? Now, I realize they are a long way from youthful. Sophie, who was seen emerging from the same beauty salon used by Kate Middleton. This was before the coronation. This is her leaving the same salon that Kate was using, right? Maybe that wasn't a good idea. Maybe you should avoid the salon that Kate uses and maybe go find your own somewhere, I don't know, try Soho. I don't know where to suggest. How about Hackney or something like that? But I would avoid Kate's salon because I don't think they like her that much, let alone you. And then as for her husband, Edward, who is a blood prince and also who looks like the ghost of Barney Fife, the ghost of Barney Fife, they're actually supposed to step up. They're the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh. If they don't step up, who will? That's the same title Prince Philip had, the Duke of Edinburgh. It should be incumbent upon them to step forward for the sake of the family. I don't think William minds. He checked out about 3 days ago. He doesn't care what's about to happen. Oh, man, I tell you. At first, when I heard this thing about Charles not having cancer, I wasn't sure if I could believe that, but it is starting to make sense. All of this is alleged, of course. I have to caution and say all of this is alleged. But it's starting to make sense in that Charles may have thrown up this whole thing about the prostate. And then, of course, when that was losing its shine, then, did I say shine? Does that sound weird, a shiny prostate? Well, because that was losing its impact. Then, of course, it was, oh, you know what? I do have cancer. I'm just finding it hard to believe because all this stuff comes together in a way that lends protection to William and Kate. That's what it tends to do. All of it gives them cover. It makes Camilla look like she's riding in on her relative. I was going to say riding in on her white horse, but that sounds redundant. So it makes it makes Camilla seem like she's riding in on a relative, and she's the one that's rescuing the firm, as though she and Charles have some type of agreement, right? Because Charles is still working. And if he's still working, I see no reason why he can't go to the Commonwealth. I mean, he's meeting people. He just met with the Jamaican ambassadors or whatever. Yeah. Let me see. Oh, wait. There we go. Oh, it keeps moving. Yeah, she wrote in on a cousin. Absolutely. Yeah, it sounds redundant to say horse because, I mean, it just looks like she got a horsey back ride. I don't know. Yes, Black Light, there's something wrong with William. The whole family is falling apart, and Harry and Meghan are safely ensconced in their Montecito mansion where there are no leaks. It really makes me so glad for the fact that Harry and Meghan left that institution. Now, I've been glad for a while, but there was a time when I thought, oh, too bad that didn't work out. It would have been nice seeing an American woman of color in those spaces. But considering how unappreciative those people in those spaces are, it doesn't matter. It's better that they are gone away from that terrible place. Baron, I think King is in a tizzy because William is out of control. I believe he called Harry as a just in case option for King. Royal, what is that? Some Ken royal family are very scared for Ken. Not for King though, right? I mean, because Harry would only be a regent. So, but anyway, Kim Peaches, I think I get the spirit of what you're saying. But yeah, something is not working out, and it really has a lot to do with William. And what's wrong with Kate is anybody's guess. I suppose she's still alive. I suppose she's not in a coma. Um, Not necessarily her in that car. Joyce Bell says, in my opinion, from the start was that this was either a PR stunt. Kate did something to herself or something was done to her. Okay, I think you're on a good track right there. Those people are capable of anything, so don't be surprised. I think the only thing that bothers me is that for everything that has been said and done, that there's always the possibility we may never know what the truth is. And I hate that because having drummed up all this sympathy and everything and stirred up all this fuss, I think it's just kind of fair that we know what it was about. But again, we may never know the full story. Thank you, Joyce Foss. But I tell you what, that Malone yesterday, she did not help the situation. And isn't it interesting that that Malone lady and Uncle Gary on the same day both let slip something out of their mouths that changes the narrative yet again? Both of them. What are the chances? And which was the actual flub, right? Or the truth bomb, and which was there to actually steer our thoughts in another direction. You know what I mean? That's what I can't put my finger on. But it's just something inconsistent about the two of them making these comments on the same day, hours apart from each other. I don't know what it is. I guess you could just go back and forth with this in your head for a long time and never fully understand what's happened. Where's Legs? Legs always has something compelling to say. Isn't Legs here? Where the hell is Legs? Because by this time, Legs usually says something, and I'm like, you know what? You said that at just the right time. No Legs today. I guess it must be leg day at the gym. Never mind. Oh, well. Well, you know what I mean, Lydia. At about this point, Legs would have said something. I'd be like, you know what? You know what? Anyway, I said about an hour, so let's try to stick to that. Afternoon tea is steeped in racism and white privilege. It should be banned. The only thing is that's fake. This is I don't know how many times they've done this to Dr. Shola, but this is at least the second that I know of. I didn't say, nor do I think this. The unwashed and unmoisturized are outraged at me on basis of, but it is something she could have said. Lord, please save us from obese stupidity, spreading lies in this weapon of cowards. Like anyway, somebody has done it again. They are hiding behind an anonymous account, and they will make these screenshots that look legitimate, but they're not. They absolutely are not. And when I say this has happened before, this has happened before. Like right there, I fully support the looting in France by disenfranchised Black youth. Call it reparations. And of course, this Colin person says looting and rioting are not an act of economic rebalancing. If you believe that, explain your thinking to the parents of the 24-year-old firefighter killed in Paris last night. So this Colin person, when I see something like this, the first thing I have to do is go to the Guardian and make sure that it is a real and legitimate story. And if I cannot find it, then I won't share it. You understand what I'm saying? Now, this Colin Brazier person, I'm sure that he's in a much higher pay grade than I am. I don't even own a tie, okay? This Colin Brazier person should know better. But he saw the thing and he shared it. And this, even without AI, there are already problems with social media. Problems like this. And I have caught so many of those articles that simply are not true. And sometimes squaddies will make it without even pointing out that they're making fun of someone. And then quite often, if not actually more often, you will see people on the other side or people for any subject or topic will do the same thing without any explanation, without warning. Like, for instance, there's one squaddie that has a brilliant way of saying, they said this, but we're seeing that. And they always put both the real article and the doctored, edited article side by side. Problem is, somebody takes the edited part of it and they will just share it as though it's true. And that is a problem because it's very misleading and it can start a whole world of trouble for someone like Dr. Shola, who has been physically threatened. She and her family has been physically threatened through her letterbox. So we really, 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 before you all share stuff, please verify. Go to the original website and verify that it's real. Otherwise, you will actively participate in misleading, and I'm sure you don't want to do that. King Charles calls for all able-bodied royals. Both of them, huh? King Charles calls for all able-bodied royals to attend the Commonwealth Day service, shine an unwelcome light on the family sickbay, writes Ephraim Hardcastle. I don't know who this Ephraim is, but I'm telling you, some of the stuff that this person has been writing lately has been rather interesting because I don't know how big a royalist they are, but they have been shedding a little truth to the situation. Queen Camilla will lead the extended royal family at Monday's Commonwealth Day service with the absent king ordering all able-bodied working royals to attend. This shine an unwelcome light on the royal sickbay, the King, Kate, and Princess Alexandra, as well as underlining and frailty of others. The Duke of Kent, 89 this year, now needs a stick or a wheelchair to get about, and the Duke of Gloucester is 80 in August. And of Gloucester, let me see, the Duke of Gloucester is, and one of the, let me see, and the one-time baby of the Windsor clan, hard to even say that now, Prince Edward is 60 on Sunday. Prince Edward is turning 60. If Prince Edward was in the United States, in a couple of years, he would be collecting his Social Security. And he was once the baby of the bunch. Wow. Anyway, Slim Pickens. It's like the name of a country singer, isn't it? Slim Pickens. There are some Slim Pickens. What was the last holiday they had when they went to Westminster Abbey? And was it a holiday? I'm trying to think. I remember it was Charles Camilla, the Wessexes, now the whatever they are, the Edinburghs, and it was Will and Kate, and then immediately behind them was, oh gosh, the Princess Anne and Timothy Lawrence, and then I think that was it. That was it. The Queen gone, Philip gone, Harry and Meghan in the United States. And I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, and of course, the Duke of York gone. Wow, and the youngest one there, if William doesn't show up. If William shows up, he will be the youngest one there. And if he doesn't show up, then quite possibly, God, who would be the youngest? I guess the Wessexes or anyway, I can't wait to see it. I cannot wait to see if William shows up. And since William is off this week, will he show up Monday? Maybe he took off so they can get him in shape to come in Monday. You know what I mean? Maybe they're going to try to fix that wobble or that sway. Maybe that's why they have him off now, so that they can put some braces in his, there's some type of brace in his uniform so he'll stand up straight. Otherwise, he's going to be swaying, right? And they don't want him showing up like this. They don't want him showing up like this. You know what I mean? This right here would be a bit much. I say that this ship of state is listing about, oh God, it's almost like I'm watching Michael Jackson. What song was that? Smooth Criminal? Or is it Annie? Are you watching? Annie? You've been struck. What song is that where Michael Jackson stars leaning? Anyway, that's what I feel like I'm watching. The only thing that's missing is the other guys behind him. They should do it at the same time. So, yeah, Sway is probably somewhere being hydrated for Monday's Commonwealth. And still, is it Smooth Criminal? You've been struck by smooth criminal. Oh, da, 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 da. Oh, da, 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 da. Now, Prince Harry mocked over use of private jet by rugby coach Eddie Jones, despite the royals' eco credentials. I didn't even want to share the photo that they had with this story. But can you believe that they're actually talking about when Meghan and Harry went to Nice on Elton John's plane? And when I saw that, I said, well, did Harry go somewhere today? No, he did not. They just scraped the bottom of the barrel to find this article and to quote whoever this guy is about something Harry did back in 2019. Are you serious? And of course, there was no mention of any other royal, including the fact that Camilla is on vacation. I guarantee you she didn't fly commercial. And you can see they took an entire, they have a smaller jet they could have used, right? They flew across the English Channel on board a commercial size aircraft, but this one is for use by the government. They took a full size plane across to France. And if that's not enough, they shipped the state Bentley. No mention of that in the article. And then take a look at the bottom. Prince William, Princess Anne to step up as exhausted Queen Camilla jets off on vacation. So that's just a headline from the article from this week saying that Camilla is on vacation. She did not fly commercial. I guarantee you she didn't fly commercial. No mention of it. No call. And even when it's Meghan, who has never said anything about the environment, Meghan has never said, oh, you should not fly. It's Harry's thing is the environment. And Harry hasn't said you should not fly. Harry has never said that we shouldn't fly. Or that we shouldn't do anything for that matter. Harry just wants to give people a choice to know how much carbon emissions you're generating. And yet, every so often, they go on the attack toward Harry, who spends the least amount of time out of the, immediate royals, the least amount of time jetting places. Like when William went over to see his cousin in Norway or Sweden, wherever it was, that's a private jet. The one where he abandoned his pregnant wife and ran off the plane to shake hands because he didn't care whether or not she was twisted up like a pretzel at the bottom of the steps, right? Remember that one? Or how about this one? Prince Charles. Helicopter flights, private jets, multiple huge homes, personal train, climate change hypocrite. They never mention it. Oh, and let us not forget, though, Charles and Camilla hired someone from the Daily Mail as one of their PR people. As they say, all it takes is a phone call. Let's see. Lydia Washington says, prayer requests from Cynthia Thorpe. She has another upcoming medical procedure and is requesting prayer from the squad. Okay, you prayer warriors, you all know what to do. Get praying. As a matter of fact, where is that one? Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Aha, there it is right there. Okay. Okay, I'm going to share this one later for Cynthia Thorpe. We'll do that at the end today. That of course, is the surgery prayer. I'll do that one at the end. Let me put that on here so I won't forget to do it. Okay. And don't forget, you guys, Geraldine White is having surgery next week. Yeah, she's having surgery next week. Quite a few surgeries coming up. And procedures. And procedures, to be fair, procedures. Okay. All right. I'll put that at the end so I won't forget. All right. Thank you so much, Lydia Washington. Okay. Now, oh, how do I take that away? There we go. All right. Moving on. Check it out. The British Museum is at it again. They have sent some young men over to Italy disguised as tourists, when the truth is, pretty soon they're going to have an exhibit on the Leaning Tower of Pisa. You can see them slipping it in their bag right there. So you all call, write, email, submit your complaints to the British Museum, because the other day I couldn't find the remote control and I thought it was at the British Museum. Nobody is safe. It doesn't. This is why they had to build a new wing for the museum, because it is loaded with other people's stuff. It is loaded with other people's stuff. I don't know how they are going to get that bag through security, but even the Leaning Tower of Pisa is not safe from the British Museum. Okay. And, oh, look who's begging. Look who's groveling. Okay. I won't say all that, but there's no greater institution in driving recovery from conflict for veterans through sports globally than Invictus. That is Johnny Mercer, right? That is the Minister of Veteran Affairs. I think that's what his title is. In the budget, veterans have won a £26 million underwrite for a bid to bring the Invictus Games to the United Kingdom in 2027. Now, there's a lot of squaddies. Oh, thank you, Sam. Sam is going to get my remote control out of the British Museum. Okay. There's a couple of other items, but I'll tell you what else I'm missing around here. If it's not at the British Museum, it might possibly be over at the Victoria and Albert Museum. But we got to get our stuff out of there. Anyway, so the chancellor is giving us 26. No, okay, he's not the chancellor, he's a minister. But anyway, the chancellor, I guess that's the money guy, is coming up with 26 million pounds. Isn't that something? Harry has offered to pay for his own security while visiting the UK, and yet they have just scraped up 26 million pounds for the sake of securing the Invictus Games in 2027. Now, you may recognize this guy because when Harry was having so many of those like big brass uniformed people in Germany coming to the Invictus Games, and there were photos of Harry with the German defense minister, among others, all of a sudden, it seemed as though Mercer, who, as far as I know, was not scheduled to be there, it seemed like somebody in the UK say, oh dear, we had better get over there. You go. So that someone representing the UK would actually, what should I say, someone with credentials, someone prestigious, would go to Dusseldorf to represent the UK. And now we can see all this time later, there is the 26 million pound underwrite so that they can bring the Invictus Games there. Now, there's a lot of people who don't want to see that happen. South Korea, Japan, any place but the UK, because more than likely, Meghan would be there, and there would be a lot of haters maneuvering their way into the games just so that they can make a scene. And then there's also the security for the Sussexes. So there's a few reasons why that seems like a bad idea. And then whether or not Charles is telling the truth, Charles is still not a young man, and there's no guarantee that he will be here in 2027. So wouldn't it be a horrible coincidence if William is the king in 2027? Wouldn't that be a very unfortunate coincidence? You all, the Invictus Games is huge. It is huge. And it is good PR for any company that gets involved. And so, for various reasons, and I'm just going to say, in the United States, I don't care how you try to go after Harry and Meghan. I mean, there's some things that you can go after people and there's nothing that'll save you. But Harry spoke about all of the embarrassing things in his book. And he did that so that they could not be used as a weapon against him. And so even with the Heritage Foundation and all those other things, we have been desensitized to nonsense over the past, decade, not to mention the fact that Donald Trump somehow made it into the Oval Office against the odds. He made it into the Oval Office. And so to try to go after someone's character who is not nearly as controversial as a lot of public figures in public office, or public figures that have a following and sponsorships, Harry is pretty squeaky clean by comparison. So whatever it is that they think they're doing by trying to discredit him or trying to create some stain on his record, it's not working. People are still interested in everything that the Sussexes have to say. And they have not scratched the surface at their money-making potential. Now, right now, the plan is production, Hollywood producers, as well as philanthropy. But just the lecture circuit alone could bring them $10-20 million each every year. The lecture circuit. Very lucrative. When Ronald Reagan, and we're talking 1980s money, when Ronald Reagan left the White House, and you can look this up if you like, his first public speaking engagement was in Japan. They paid him $2 million. Now, surely that was some political favor, but they paid him $2 million, just to give you an idea of how much people make. But easily, you can make as much money, you can make more money as a public speaker than a lot of these big stand-up comics. So they have not scratched the surface. They are still being very conservative and very protective of their image while they are working on production. And no matter what happens, the fact that their attempt to bring quality entertainment and education without poisoning the minds of our children is a very good thing to do. It's a great thing to do. It's admirable that they are trying to give us an alternative to the garbage that's out there. And I hope that whatever they create is entertaining, informative, and that they can make plenty money doing it to secure the future of themselves and their family and all of the protection and security that they need, generational wealth that will keep their children safe, especially against that protection racket known as the British tabloid media. But I hope they do incredibly well. And I know they will, because truth is on their side. So it's no wonder that they want to attract the Invictus Games to the UK. I think that most people are doing it for the right reasons. And then there will be a few people that are hoping to get the games over there because it could give them yet another opportunity to go after Harry and Meghan. But whatever the case may be, there is a group, a ragtag group of good people somewhere in cyberspace that has their back. And of course, that's the Sussex Squad. So we're going to keep doing what we do, because the tabloids are going to keep doing what they're doing. Hopefully, they will become exhausted and stop doing it, especially the derangers. The derangers. Let's hope that they stop. But when someone put Sussex Squad in the chat GPT, this is what came up. And it came up for a reason. And I'm glad that there is that very formal explanation of what we do. Yes, we make fun of the royal family, but there's no hate here. There's no hate here. I don't hate any of those people. I don't hate the derangers. But just to push back in the only way that I know how, yes, I will make fun of them. But for the sake of the children, I hope that Will and Kate are okay. I wish they leave Harry and Meghan alone, but I hope they're okay. I don't wish anything bad on them, and definitely I hope that their children can have as normal a life as possible. Baron, the Invictus Games will be in Japan 2027. Now, has that been a formal announcement? Because I have not seen that anywhere. And until it's official, I'm just, going with the flow. But I hope it is. I hope it is, because I thought it was Korea. But it's Korea 2027 or 2029. I forgot what year that they were hoping, but I hope it is Japan. Oh my God, you guys will love Japan. You will love Japan. Good God, is that a beautiful place? You will love it. Now, it is a bit sensory overload if they're in Tokyo. Tokyo is it's the largest city in the world, isn't it? It's sprawling, huge, but it's so clean. It's so clean, and so the people are so polite and well mannered, and oh my goodness. If you've never been to Tokyo, let's hope that the games are over there. And I would say start saving your money so you can go. You'll love it. And the same way you use your phone here, that's the same way you use your phone there. Especially if you have a plan that automatically takes you to the next country. I literally used my iPhone to get from the airport to the hotel without incident. It was able to guide me all the way there and back. So easy peasy. I wish the royal family exactly what they wish for the Sussexes and what they wish for Diana. Thank you, Anne Grumley. I agree. I agree with you. Pay it back, or pay it forward, pay it back tenfold. Okay, let me get back over here on this side. Since you all have been so good, and I think, am I almost done? Yeah, I'm almost done. Let me see. 56 minutes? Okay. But since you all have been so good, And we didn't do this yesterday. We did this the day before. Would you like to hear Get in the Car? I had so much fun with this one, and I could not stop thinking about it. Get in the car. No, see, I didn't say all of that. What if I can't find it? Get in the car. Oh, man. Oh, Lord. No, I don't see it. Oh, come on. It's got to be here. Oh, you know what? You know what? I know I'm looking in the wrong place. Yes, it's right there in front of me. It's right there in front of me. I love this one. Hey, B10. Okay.
Her health. The photos also sparked a fresh round. And the Princess of Wales has been spotted for the first time since having abdominal surgery more than 2 months ago. But the image of Princess Catherine in a car with her mother in Windsor has done little to quell the rampant speculation about her health. The photos also sparked a fresh round of conspiracy theories that it was a wax figure in the car or a body double.
That is not her.
What? Really?
I don't think that looks like her.
Could it be her sister, Pippa?
Doesn't look like
Do you think it's a wax double? No, I don't know what, but you know.
I just don't know. Why are we poring over a grainy image and then speaking with certainty?
Because we haven't seen her since Christmas Day.
I get that, but we can't say that's not her. Like that.
Oh yes, we can. I just did.
Okay.
But you know what I mean. You look at it. I realise how many times I've looked at her over the years.
Okay. Yeah.
And I just go, that doesn't look like her.
Isn't it interesting? Because the royal family isn't papped ordinarily. So it looks like they've forced her into the car.
Get in the car.
Driven her past the paps in order to put everyone's minds
That
at
would have
ease.
been Camilla.
Get in the car. Get in the photos.
Charles, she won't get in the car. What should I do?
Get in the car.
Driven her past the paps in order to put everyone's minds
That
at
would have
ease.
been Camilla.
Get in the car. Get in the photos.
Charles, she won't get in the car. What should I do?
Oh, I love that. I love that. She won't get in the car. What should I do? Okay, you all. Let me see. What else do I have here? I love this. I don't know why I did not share this with you all before, but that's Fannie Willis, is it? That's Fannie Willis trying to make sure that she's not removed from that particular case. What was it, for Georgia? But anyway, the district attorney, Fannie Willis, trying to fend off some MAGA person, not sure who it is, but yeah, she's trying to fend off a MAGA person with a folding chair. How original. Wonder where she got that idea from. But yeah, that was fun. And just a reminder to everyone, the Sussexes have had an extraordinarily busy time of it. No matter what they say, and again, you guys, the temptation to look at Talk TV and GB News, to hear them say something is a very big temptation, but it's part of an abusive cycle designed to keep you engaged. And yes, the headlines are so interesting that you can hardly help it, but if for whatever reason you do click on those links, just remember the Sussexes are winning. They're still winning, and they have plenty money. I hear those people saying that they're broke and how can they afford this and that. They're so broke, they're still giving away their money, right? How about the foundation lost money? It didn't lose money. They held on to money on account of they are being very selective about where they put their money. right? That's the account they have it in. On account, they are very selective. But because they didn't get as much money um, recently as they had the year before, is because all of that money they put in there came from, well, not all of it, but I think most of it, though, came from Harry and Meghan. Or it may be all theirs. I don't know exactly. But you can look at their tax records and see how much money they have put into their charity. But it's a lot. And before you call them broke, remember, that's their money. And if that money is still in an account for giving, then it probably means they don't need it because they still have plenty of money. They raised an extraordinary amount of money, not just because that's Harry and Meghan, but because they articulated a vision to people who wanted to invest in their future, whether it was Netflix or Spotify or whomever. People invested in their future. They saw something that they considered to be a beacon of light, and they decided to let that guide them toward the Sussexes. It's just that simple. They're not broke. They're not destitute in any way. And no matter what's in the headlines, they still have their character to fall back on, which puts them ahead of a lot of people in Hollywood, in the royal family, or wherever. So don't listen to all of the naysayers, all the doom and gloom. It is designed to confound and frustrate and demoralize. They want to demoralize you. That's what they have. Have you guys seen one of those bots? It may have been a bot, it may be a person, but they keep saying that the title Sussex was given to Louisa or whatever the Wessex child name is. I mean, it's just so stupid. They're not the Sussexes anymore. Now, I'm sure that that's a bot, but if it is a bot, somebody bought and paid for it, or they paid someone to hate, to put negative things in the comment sections of these Sussex-friendly spaces. There's no truth to it whatsoever. Louisa, she is not the Duchess of Sussex. Meghan's not the Duchess. I'm just like, are we on a school playground or what? Are these people insane? But that's the kind of stuff that they do. And if you see that and you get that feeling in your stomach, like everything has suddenly gone bad, they got you. That's why I say, tune it out. Don't let them get the better of you. That is what they want, is to demoralize you and to frustrate you so that you turn away from the Sussexes. That's their intention. Deborah Anderson, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for being here today on Royal Sussex. It is never too late to help a friend, right? How far would you go for a friend? Somebody's got a free willy. Somebody has to free willy. And as you can see here, Roger Ebert says, we all know where the well ends up in this one. So yeah, will you help Free Willy? Let me see. Duchess of Success, hi all. Hope everyone is well as can be expected, I'm afraid. I mean, I don't know. I think the dampness got to me the other day, and anyway, that's old folks talk. That is. So let me stop. But I'm getting older, and nothing works like it used to. But other than that, I'm okay. And I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for coming in to visit. Let me see. Let's put that up at the top. What do I have up there? I put something up there earlier, didn't I? Let me find it. Okay. All right. Okay. There's a link going up on the top. That is for the Duchess of Success, another Sussex friendly space. So remember to like, subscribe, and share these Sussex friendly spaces, right? So we can grow this community. Okay. And I think this is the last thing. I don't think that this. Okay, it may be. This is a bad thing about the AI is that you have to doubt, you have to wonder and guess. But Viola Davis is now a Barbie girl in the Barbie world. Maybe. I hate that that's where we're headed, but maybe. Maybe, but I think if she's not, there should be one, right? If not, there should be. But all right, so with that, you all, I am done. Hour and 8 minutes, not bad. Remember, I did post a video earlier about Meghan and Gina Davis, their up and coming project. Also, tomorrow is the day that our Duchess is going to appear at the South by Southwest, right? And then Monday, we find out whether Free Willy is actually going to go to the, the what do you call it? We're going to find out if he's going to go to the, what do you call that? The Commonwealth Day. There we go, Commonwealth Day. Anyway, I'm interested to find out. So, okay. And don't forget, there's a video for the South by Southwest. If you want to check it out, there is a video. And this is the thumbnail right here. You can see our Duchess as the thumbnail for that video that I made the other day. And that is for the South by Southwest. I hope you guys are enjoying the edited videos. You all have been watching a lot of them, and I do thank you for that. Because, if I start seeing food truck videos, I may not make them anymore. So just saying. And if you don't know what a food truck video is, a food truck video is when I spend hours editing and only, let's say, 3,000 views. That's not good. So the last one got 6,300. Not bad. Thank you very much. So it's not a food truck video. But if you've been part of Royal Sussex for a while, food truck video is my way of saying you all don't appreciate the edited videos I make. Oh, wow. Okay. 6,300, 7,200. 9,100, that's 9,100. And the, what is that? Prince William Aid played a key role, 15,000 views. That is extraordinary. See, I have nothing to complain about. You all did that on purpose, didn't you? Because I love to have something to complain about. One thing about getting older is the right to complain. And you all have stripped me of my ability to complain. So I thank you, and I'm going to give you a side eye at the same time. Let me see. If you don't know what a food truck video is, you ain't one of the real ones who's been here for the longest. Exactly. That food truck video, it keeps me awake at night. It does. Every time I post something, I think it's going to turn into a food truck video. Anyway, thank you very much. And thank you, moderators, for keeping this a safe space. And this has not been a Mark Goodson or Bill Totson production. No animals were maimed or injured throughout the production of Royal Sussex. There has been no gratuitous violence or nudity. What else? Yeah, that's it. Let me see here. B10 Pal, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. Now, if you guys know what Mark Goodson and Bill Totson mean, you're old. If you know what that means, you're old. That means that you have watched someone get a year's supply of turtle wax. Remember that from the old game shows? And also the consolation prize they would give to the people that didn't win the big prize, a year's supply of turtle wax. What in the world is a year's supply of turtle wax? And of course, the Amana radar range and all that kind of stuff. Oh, those were the fun days of television, wasn't it? Oh, okay. I see quite a few of you all know what that means, huh? This has not been, I'm like, no, this has been a Mark Goodson and a Bill Totson production. Oh, yeah, the price is right. Yeah, year supply of turtle wax. Okay. The only way the only way that turtle wax would make sense for me if it helps to remove rust, because I don't think I've ever had a car that wasn't filled with rust holes and stuff like that in it. So if turtle wax works on rust, then I could use a lifetime supply of it. Yeah, I did watch it too, Carmen's Place. I watched it. It was very good. One of the reasons why I watched it is because it will help people decide whether or not the oldest president in history is still a viable candidate, right? And one of the problems that the president has is that he has a speech impediment. When he was a child, he was a stutterer. I mean, really bad. And so he's managed to overcome that as an adult, but still he has moments when he stumbles. Now, of course, I rarely mention Joe Biden these days because that embrace of Bibi Netanyahu was like a punch in the stomach. And I cannot stop seeing that. Among other things, I can't stop seeing so many people that were part of that genocide. So it's been very difficult for me, but still I'm obliged to vote. And I have always been a Democrat, so I don't really have a lot of options, but I'm not happy about where my tax dollars are going. I'm not happy about that. I'm very, very disappointed. If we were using that money for housing or using that money to feed people or to encourage small business or something like that, just imagine with that kind of infusion of cash, what that would do for this country. So that's how I feel. Yeah, Marshall, he did prove that. He's pretty much the same person he was last time. I think that the Democrats were very animated and very loud and everything. I think that helped give him a bit of cover. But I can't. I'm glad they did that because some of those people in the Republican Party are so rude. I don't know that we've ever had politics, compared to Congress, the United States Congress compared to the British Parliament is very tamed in comparison. And one of the reasons is because the president is not a member of Congress, but the prime minister is a member of parliament. The president of the United States has to ask permission to go to the people's house, to Congress. They are co-equal branches of government. So before you enter the Congress, before you enter the Capitol Hill, the president has to ask permission. And same if the Congress wants to go to the White House, you need permission. And if anybody want to go to the Supreme Court, you need permission. Those are co-equal branches, co-equal in three parts. Like the Holy Trinity, there's three parts to it. You have the legislative branch, which is Congress, which we say Congress to also mean the Senate. And you have the judiciary, which of course is the Supreme Court and all of the other courts lower. And then of course there is the executive branch, which the president has all those cabinet members and all those jobs. There's a book that a president gets when they enter the White House, and the book is filled with jobs, positions that have to be filled. They usually go to people who have donated a substantial amount of money or have done a lot of work. Just think of it like the honors system, right? Except these people get a job and not just a little trinket. And that book decides who is, let's say, one of the best things in that book is ambassador to France, the ambassador to London, ambassador to Japan. I mean, that's a cushy job. And if you raise enough money and help get somebody elected, you could actually get that position, which gives you a mansion in one of the most desired neighborhoods in whatever capital city in the world. And oh boy, I tell you, I would do anything for that. Let me see. In the United Kingdom, we just had a huge win for an independent candidate. So look into good independence. As time goes on, if more people do that, you will get a more diverse election field. Yeah, we're stuck in this perpetual two-party system. And the unfortunate thing is the general election for president is the worst time to vote third party, because inevitably they are going to lose. They're going to lose. It's just, I don't know that we've ever had anyone who came as close as H. Ross Perot. But the third parties, you have to start the third parties literally with the dog catcher and work your way up. But to try to do it at the top of the ticket, it would take someone who has outstanding credentials, right? Someone who is a supreme communicator. That's who, but like if Trump tried to run against a Republican, in all likelihood, he would lose if he tried to run as an independent. It would, independence when it comes to the presidential election, that is the Ralph Nader vote. They're the ones who draw people away from either the Democrat or the Republican, but it just ensures who will win and who will lose. But so far, it's never been the independent. Now, to be fair, our founding fathers did not like the two-party system. They thought that that would lead to exactly what we have now, a duopoly, where you have two parties that are creating a false opposition when they tend to agree more than they disagree. And that duopoly is just enough to confuse the American people. So we have that choice of Coke and Pepsi every 4 years. Not good when it comes to government. So it is a good idea, but the presidential election is the worst place to start. In order to get a serious third party going, you have to start with the state houses, and there are 50 states. And you have to get a majority in several of those state houses before you can break through that duopoly called the Democrat and Republican parties. So hope that was helpful, but not a bad idea. It's just on the national level, they have monopolized our government, and they are more alike than they are different, even though on the outside they seem to hate one another. But they really are voting for their constituents. And of course, for certain political action committees, like the one that is why we are so involved in the Middle East, they really, we have the best government that money could buy. That's an old saying, but it's true. We have the best government that money can buy. And if you can buy a government, it's probably not that great. What's that? State of, oh yeah, State of the Union. I just called. Oh yeah. My G. Okay. Let me see, Baron. I love those short videos and reports. Oh, cool. I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. Yeah, I've gotten pretty fast when it comes to making those, so I can crank out those short videos kind of fast. It's not the 8-hour thing like it used to be. Sometimes it may be 3 or 4 hours, depending on how much I put into it. But it's not like it was in the early days when I would literally go 8 hours trying to make a 20-minute video. Oh, that was horrible. Let me see. What impact will no monarchy have on Parliament? Well, I mean, you need only look at some of your or some of the European neighbors. As they say, the royal family brings in tourism, and yet France is #1 in the world for tourism, and the Versailles is, I think, probably the most visited castle in the world. Yeah, and when it comes to Europe, if you don't look at a country, if you just look at cities, the most visited cities are London and Paris, and they're so close, it's hard to decide who's actually getting more tourists. But outside of London, tourism kind of drops off the ledge. But when it comes to France, there's so many places in France and Spain that draws in the big numbers every year. And don't even get me started with Italy. So France, Italy, and Spain, they get the big numbers in Europe. The UK doesn't get as much. So this idea that the royal family brings in tourism, I don't think it makes an impact at all. I really don't. I think people undersell how big an impact the British culture is compared to the impact of the royal family. As you can see, the Queen is gone, and I don't know that there's been any tours that are booked where people from the United States are rushing over to walk in the footsteps of the Queen. But there's a demographic, a couple of demographics that have been somewhat removed from tourism. And that, of course, is young people and people from the Commonwealth. Because of the way they treated Harry and Meghan, they have created so much apathy. And then not only that, but William and Kate, with their trip to the Caribbean, when they went on their all expense paid vacation and lost half the Commonwealth, I think that right there really made things so much worse, so much worse. even people in Scotland, I would say for the most part, they use Harry and Meghan as an argument against that institution. I think there's a kindred spirit for the fact that Harry and Meghan has been, treated like these outcasts from the family. But not only that, it's just that the enemy of my enemy is my friend type of thing. And so I would say that for the Irish, for the Scottish, seeing them treat a family member or family members just as bad as you would treat any stranger on the street does not help with your popularity in these realms or Commonwealth countries. It just does not help. They're sowing the seeds of their own destruction. Mystic Toxin says the Republicans only hired Katie because Nora, that Mormon propaganda, what is it, tick-a-talker, was a busy. Oh, man. Let me see. Yeah, that whole thing right there, that was poor optics. The optics of that was horrible. That was horrible. And I was talking about Biden every week. I can't even mention his name most days because he really, really ticked me off with all of that stuff. And the sad truth is, and I've heard some people in the spaces, and they're trying to get us Americans to punish Biden by not voting for him because the alternative would be so much better. This is the same alternative that moved, what was it, the embassy to Jerusalem or whatever it was he did that time. He's not exactly a profile of courage. The problem is both of our political parties are bought and paid for by some interests that will keep us in the Middle East and keep us in conflict with people that haven't done anything to us. And that's the truth. That's the one truth that Elon Musk said that got him in trouble. And that is that the Americans' relationship with these powerful forces in the Middle East, that is the reason why things like Iraq and Afghanistan happen, because of where we are nosing our way into things that we should stay out of. But we have instigated so much that next thing you know, there's boots on the ground. And that is, that's why people have bad feelings about the US, is because we pick on some countries that cannot defend themselves. But when it comes to Russia and China, then all of a sudden, all we want to do is get along, right? So, and like with Saddam Hussein and his weapons of mass destruction, the one thing that I took away from that is, if you have something, you better use it. Otherwise, the United States is going to kick the door down. And one of these days, they're going to pick on somebody who has something and they're going to use it. And they're going to find out that that policy of overwhelming force is not going to win the day. So it's unfortunate what they do with our tax dollars. Unfortunate. All right, so I'm done. And yeah, that was it. Again, thank you, moderators. Don't forget South by Southwest tomorrow. And go and watch our Duchess streaming everywhere now, and please rate the podcast, because by you rating it, like see right here, go ahead and pop those 5 stars on there. I don't think we're going to have another one of those Joe Rogan things just yet. But then again, we haven't seen the new podcast yet. So Meghan is probably working on those new podcasts right now. Whenever they come out, it will be another blow to the Joe Rogan experience, I'm sure, because I think that Meghan was kind of being held back a bit at Spotify. Some of the production was not brilliant, but they say that Limonada is pretty good. Plus, I believe that the Sussex, that Meghan will have more control over the production. So that being the case, I suspect that the quality is going to be a lot better than it was the last time. So look forward to that. What's that? Oh, really? Well, happy Friday to you. Buonasera. Arrivederci. Grazie. Prego. What else? I know at least 5 or 6 words. Wow, Italy is so beautiful. So beautiful. Florence exceeded my expectations. Venice exceeded my expectations. And Rome was just the eternal city. I think we should all just drop in on Robert Collins. Next time Robert Collins go out to a little bar and get his drink, we should all sit down next to him. All 1,233 of us just sit right down next to him. Hey. Okay, you guys. I gotta go. Thank you so much. Love you guys. I will see you next time. And of course, a prayer for I knew that was going to happen. A prayer for those that are having surgery. That's right. That's who we're praying for. So, Heavenly Father, grant me joyful acceptance of the surgery which awaits me, and let this be the relief and cure which I seek. Make skill the work of the surgeons and that of his team, for it is unto their knowledge and skill that I give myself for healing. I pray to you, O Lord, that this procedure will be without complication and that my recovery will be speedy and complete. Amen. All right. Cynthia Thorpe. Right, Cynthia Thorpe. And also, Cynthia Thorpe's having a procedure, and Jerry White is having major surgery this month. So please keep her in your prayers. Major surgery. Okay. Is it? And would you believe I didn't have any when I was there? I don't even remember what I ate aside from McDonald's. I don't remember what else I ate. That's so weird. I don't remember what I ate in Italy. And Lord knows I didn't miss a meal. I can assure you of that. I did not miss a meal. Ooh, but those little ham sandwiches that they have in Spain, you know, where they cut that very thinly sliced ham, I guess it is, and they give it to you on a little roll. Oh, those are so good. I would keep one in my backpack at all time. So if I went someplace and everything was too expensive, I would just eat one of those, pull it right out of my bag and snack on it. Oh, they were so good. Yeah, those are so good. And I think it was Portugal, or was it Spain? I think it was Portugal where I had those little egg custard things, you know, where it's brown on the top. I forgot what you call them, but oh my God, they were so good. They have a little cinnamon flavor. I must have eaten a boatload of those things. I must have. Oh, and I went to one of those tapas, you know, where they have the singer and it's, you know, kind of dimly lit. One of those singers that sing those sad songs. Oh, that was so cool. That was so cool. I went on like a pub crawl. It was a tour and a pub crawl all in one. And that was in Lisbon. That was in Lisbon. And I had so much fun that night. I'll never forget that night. Flan, I think that, no, not flan. I don't think so. Is it? No, I don't think so. I think flan is Mexican, right? No, it's like a custard. Okay, so I gotta go. I'm gonna go. And remember, when you see our queens, it is time to go. And you all know what that means, don't you? When you see the queens. There we go. And all right, so love you guys. See you tomorrow. And let's end with the Ginger Avenger. Yeah, some kind of egg tart. Okay. Okay. And